Buenos dias, peregrinos. Someone in my Facebook forum recently asked if it was possible for them to get lost on the Camino. And my question to them was, which Camino are you talking about? If you're talking about the Camino Frances, I would say it is almost impossible to get lost. It is so well marked these days. There are yellow arrows like this one above my door, if you can see it up there in the right-hand corner. There are yellow arrows called flechas amarillas all along the way. You'll find them on rocks, on walls, on buildings, on posts. They're just everywhere. So if you pay attention, you're probably going to be just fine. You can also just follow the trail of pilgrims in front of you. That said, it is possible. I got lost on my very first Camino coming out of Zubiri, but it was my own stupidity. It was stage 3 of the Camino. I was a brand new pilgrim. I didn't have experience. And there were some people up and rustling around in the dark, and I thought, oh my gosh, we better get up and get on the trail so we get a bed at the next place. And so we got up in the dark, and we got dressed, and we got out on the Camino in front of the albergue, and we couldn't see a thing. It was so dark you couldn't see any arrows. Those little villages are so dark you can't see your hand in front of your face. And we ended up walking quite a bit off the Camino before we realized we were lost. So I stopped and sat down and waited for dawn and found my way back to the track. So don't be stupid. There's no reason to walk in the dark. Absolutely no reason. Plus, it's annoying as hell to all the pilgrims around you who are trying to sleep for you to be up rustling around in the dark, waking everybody up. That 10 or 15 minutes before dawn is not going to make that big of a difference. And yeah, I'd say just don't do it. Even if you're walking in the summer hours, just wait. Wait until there's at least a little bit of light so you can see if you're worried about getting lost. Now that said, again, there's the movie The Way. I was an extra in The Way. I don't know whether or not it's based on a true story, but in The Way, the young man left to cross the Pyrenees during a blizzard. That was stupidity. He got lost and he froze to death. The people in St. Jean-Pied-de-Port at the Pilgrim's office will tell you if it's safe or unsafe to walk over the Pyrenees the next day. And if they say don't go, I advise you not to go. First of all, it's illegal and you'll get a huge fine. And second of all, they know those mountains better than you do. There are alternative routes you can take, or you can just take a taxi to Roncesvalles and start there if it's really a bad storm. So don't do it. The other person I know that did get lost on the Camino Frances was Denise Thiem. That was back in 2015. A bad man had painted an alternative route going to his farm. Denise unfortunately decided to take the alternative route instead of sticking to the main route. From what I've heard, he tried to rob her and other pilgrims, but he tried to rob her and she fought back and was killed. And he dumped her body in a well. She was missing a long time until they finally found her. But the man has been caught and he is in prison. So just stick to the main route. Don't take alternative routes if you're a new pilgrim, and you'll be fine. There are so many arrows along the way, and following the other pilgrims will get you safely to Santiago. If you're taking alternative routes, I was lost once on the Madrid route, but that was my own fault. I wasn't paying attention and I missed an arrow. I got about 2 kilometers out of my way before I realized what I had done and made my way back. Other routes that aren't as well traveled, such as the route from Malaga or the route from Montserrat or some of the newer routes that they're doing now, confraternities are trying to mark them, but there are long distances between arrows. So you might want to use the GPS on your iPhone. Or not. I mean, eventually you're going to hit a village somewhere, so I don't worry too much about it. But if you're walking the Camino Frances again, I just wouldn't worry about it. Follow the arrows. You'll be fine. Have a buen camino.